Hi guys, so today I'm working on two NPRs. I already did one, and this is the second one, and I'm already on the last step over here in the one wheel. So this is a deeper uh, rotor, and the thinner rotor you have to go through the same process basically. So you know that you got to take your lug nuts out. One side of the vehicle is going to be left-handed, and the other one's going to be right-handed thread on the wheels. So you go through that part, and then you got to get your caliper off and whatnot. I'm pretty sure you already know how to do that. And you take the dust cover, the cover off. Then you have the lug nut and the bearing. It has a pin. You take the pin out. Then you reverse. You take the lug nut out, and then you move the caliper a little bit. The caliper, the rotor, and the bearing is gonna kind of pop out itself. Put that aside. Blah blah blah. All right. So after that, you gotta get the ABS reader. So the magnet, the ABS sensor, which is right over here, that reads out of these little squares, right? So obviously you got nothing that you can put in there that you can actually hook and make it work. It's impossible. And I don't think they sell a tool for this stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody kind of makes their own tool, and you know, you figure it out as you go. So what I came up with, that's my leverage, so I could, you know, hook onto it and then pull. I went to Harbor Freight. They have a kit with different size pullers. So I picked this one up and I customized it just for this project. So I got, I believe it's one of the smaller ones. I can't even remember. So as you can see here, I cut one half of it off. Okay, one other half off on all of them. So I'm using the shorties out of the two. There's a long one and then there's a short one. This is the short one, the short side. So after that, I cut the tip. If you can see, the tip is not round anymore. Come on, focus. Focus. See, the tip is square instead of round. And I also did a little notch on it. If you can see that little notch. Come on, focus. So anyways, I don't know if you can see that notch there. I don't know what it's trying to focus on, but anyways, there's a little notch there. Come on. Oh, there's a little notch, and that's so I could hook it up in these little holes. If you can pick that up right there. See how kind of that snaps in there? And obviously it's hard to do everything in one hand, but let's see. Alright, so you have your tool, you have your notch, put it in there, you set your tool right over here, another notch, and then you start pulling out. You gotta remember, these tools are garbage, so these little nuts are gonna keep on falling off. So make sure that you do something so that they don't fall off, but they do have to be free, so you can actually move the equipment and blah blah blah. After you have that set up like that, actually I gotta get something better, like a round plate or something that I could sit on it. It'll be good to go, or something that you could actually just do across from the side of the rotor, still hard enough. So, and then after that you start pulling, cranking on this thing. Now, what I came to notice is it still is going to be pulling, but it's hard. It's really hard to pull. So I did a PP blaster around the edge here. Let it soak for a minute, and then I got the torch when I actually have tension on it, I got the torch and kind of warm it up just a little bit, and then you will see that it will start coming up, and then all of a sudden you get it out. So that's the little tool, the little trick that I think is best for this NPRs, because I've seen people making hooks and fighting these things, but I think that this is the best and the easier setup that I come up with and that I made, obviously. But that's the trick. That setup will work. It pulls out, and then on the bottom you got your 10 bolts, T55 or something like that, to remove the lug nuts on the bottom to get the rotor off. So after you do that, you put everything back together, and then all you have to do is just hammer the new, not the new, after you put the bolts on, you hammer this thing evenly, all the way around, and you'll be good to go to put back in the vehicle. And obviously make sure that you grease and pack the bearings before you put it back on, and yep, you call it a day. You go backwards on the steps, you know how to put it all back together. But that's the trick. I haven't seen this set up yet. I had to make it today. I did 2 of them, and they were both a pain in the neck. So I had to come up with something that would actually work easier. And with that tool, it's kind of like in and out, pretty much. You can get it done real quick. If you don't have the tool, I don't believe they sell a tool. I haven't come up with it. I don't know who to get it from either way. So, but that helps tremendously. Alright guys, like always, to the next one, like, share, subscribe, help me help you. And you know, I'm sorry guys, I try to show the steps, but I'm a one-man team and I don't have the time. I live, you know, my business is doing this for a living, and I know that if I grow on YouTube and all that, I'll get money and blah blah blah, but I really don't have the time right now to actually record every step of doing all the jobs. And I try the best I can. You know, I try to do the best I can on recording and uploading and whatnot, but there's certain amount of jobs that I gotta do daily, and I gotta get obviously these businesses that need the truck ASAP back on the road, and I don't have the time to actually show step by step on how to do it. But I'll show you guys little tricks here and there how to get it done. That'll make your life a little bit easier. But alright guys, till the next one, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.